Paul Cook, great to see you here at Oulton Park. It's a fantastic weekend. It looks like the weather's just holding out. A fantastic livery car you got as well. We're going to see you out there nice and well.
Yes, hopefully the weather's going to stay dry, but we never know. Looking forward to a good week, good day today. Yesterday test session went well. We improved throughout the day, so I'm feeling quite confident that we'll get a good result today.
Brilliant. Well, we're speaking to what he says is your main rival, Graham, over the way. And he says he's your main competition out there today. Is that something you reflect on?
Yeah, he's last year was my biggest competitor, and the first round of this championship, yeah, he won one race, I won one race. So yeah, we're pretty tight at the top there.
So as you say, it's a close championship, so it's good for racing and for spectators alike to watch. And yeah, it's a fantastic race series to be in.
Yeah, it's a great little series. I thoroughly enjoy it. The cars to drive are they're awesome bits of kit. Put a big smile on your face. Yeah, I love driving it.
No, awesome. We were saying your cameraman, Mr. Cook here, with the last name as yourself, yes, was telling me a bit of a story about wet conditions and you diving onto the grass to take a win, I think.
MR2 championship, was it? Yeah, I kind of recall. Yeah, yeah, do or die. But I don't think I'll be doing the BMW today.
Are we sure? If it comes to it, will we see it?
You will see it, yeah.
Excellent. Best of luck today.
Okay, cheers.
So, cars onto the grid for the final race of the morning, or before lunch. Last few cars coming into position. I can see in the background of your shot there, Matthew Smith just coming into shot in the black and red Z3, which means only a couple more cars to go. And then we'll get the green flag at the back, and we will get the 20-minute race for the BMW Car Club of Great Britain Car Club Racing Championship underway. Yeah, there is the green flag at the back. The grid goes all the way around the corner down towards Deer Leap. And we can see from our comment box the red lights go on and they go out. Away they go. And it's Pensavar then with that length advantage that makes a good start. One onto the grass there was number 83. Bouncing away, that's Gary Burstow who comes back across the track. And he saves it. More importantly, probably, he doesn't collect or isn't collected by anybody else. That was a bit of a frightening moment there. Number 42, I can see, is Mark Havers right at the back. But Mike Cutt there didn't make a very good start, did he? He's dropped down to about 5th position. Missed that in watching Gary Burstow. So it's Michael Pensavar leading, Brad Sheehan second, and Paul Cook third, I think, is the way of it at the moment. No, is that Paul Cook? Yeah, Paul Cook up to third. Graham Crowhurst fourth, and I think Brad Sheehan down to 5th place. Those positions are as they were as they crossed the start line, basically, at the start of the race. So there's Graham Crowhurst in 3rd place. You can tell his car, that's the camo liveried car. And then it's Brad Sheehan. So Cook and Crowhurst both in M2 class cars. Brad Sheehan is in an M1 class car. So theoretically, at least, that should be a little bit quicker. But good start here for Mike Pensavar. I guess he'll be pleased that Mike Cutt didn't get away that well, because he would have been the biggest threat. Only 6/10 slower in qualifying this morning. He is behind the 67 car of Adrian Williams at the moment, is Mike Cutt. Double Northern Sports and Saloon Car champion. He's raced this BMW in a variety of different championships, really, over the past, decade, I suppose, now. So there's Pensavar leading. Cook in 2nd place. He's doing a good job of sticking with him, I must say. And 3rd is Crowhurst. 4th is Sheehan. Sheehan gets alongside here as they make their way into Lodge Corner, and he goes through, which is probably what you'd expect. The M1 class car ahead of the M2 class car of Crowhurst. So that's pretty much as expected. In 5th place is Mike off. Well, that's Gary Burstow off again. We saw him off on the grass at the start of the race, and now he's been off at Lodge Corner as well. So an eventful first lap for him, as the rest of the field are filtering their way through. Stuart Pywell, I think that was. I can see. Yeah, it was the number 76 car running in 11th place, so 1 place up on his grid position. Making their way then down through Cascades, down to the hairpin they go. There is Mike Cutt, who's now ahead of Graham Crowhurst as well. So Cutt just starting to make his way up the order here. The M1 class cars you would expect to be ahead of the M2 class cars, as I say, and Cut should certainly be on terms with Pensaval, really, I would think. Gary Burstow, by the way, I can tell you, has come into the pit lane, so it looks like he's out of the race, or at least out of it for the time being. So heading down the straight towards the chicane, at Hislop's comes this group of cars which features in its midst, I think. Jim Benson is in the midst of that now. He did get up to 10th place, so where did that leave him within the Class 6? Now we've got a problem with a bright sun on our laptop screens here in the commentary box, which doesn't help in trying to determine this, but within Class 6 he was up to 3rd position behind Kevin Denwood, so we'll watch for the further progress of Jim Benson in this race. In fact, there is Kevin Denwood, number 7 now, driver was just talking about, and that's Jim Benson just behind him in the 3:30. So that's certainly a battle worth watching. Just ahead of them is Stephen Schweikart, number 43. He's in one of the Class M2 cars, so he's a class above, effectively, Kevin Denwood, but you can see that he's a novice driver from the cross on the back of his car, so certainly no disgrace for Stephen Schweikart to be mixing it with the Class 6 cars. Is Jim Benson about to lose a position there to Stuart Pywell? Thought he might be. Oh yes, Jim Benson's certainly got a problem, and I wonder if that's why he had a dodgy qualifying session. He's got a very sick-sounding engine as he came past my commentary box there, so Jim Benson, I think, is going to be in real trouble during the course of this race. Here's a good scrap. This involves the 42 car of Mark Havers towards the back of the field. He's in 23rd position, but you've got Paul Laramie in there, and I think Gareth Thomas as well, so that's for 23rd, 24th and 25th positions. And making their way through, and it looks like the 31 car, which is Paul Laramie, looks like that driver might try and make his way through. Meanwhile, again beneath my commentary box window, the 83 car of Gary Burstow is going back out into the race. So we'll see how he fares. There you can just see him going through there. There's the 43 car of Schweikart. He's lost out now to the 7 car of Kevin Denwood. So Kevin Denwood up into 8th place as a result of that. Jim Benson, as we've said, has problems. Dan Harborough, though, in the number 30, E30 BMW, is still at the top of the Class 6 standings. There's Graham Crowhurst, who's second in Class M2 at the moment, with Paul Cook a few cars ahead of him on track. At 67, Adrian Williams, who is in 6th position then. He's been a pretty reliable supporter of the BMW Car Club Racing Championship over the past few years. We'll see if we can look at what's going on for 2nd, 3rd and 4th in a moment, because that's the battle that's heading down towards Cascade now, and that was getting pretty close. Well, that's Paul Cook, Brad Sheard and Michael Cook, but at the moment we're looking at Adrian Williams, and there we can see the 46 car going through. Then we have, yes, there's Jim Benson. There's the car that we're talking about. He is struggling. You can see he's being passed by cars that should really not be passing him at all. And I suspect that Jim Benson is going to be heading into the pit lane. In fact, he's going to be passed there, I think, by number 37. Oh, that's... Yeah. Benson there was sort of blocked from getting into the pit lane, if that was indeed his aim there, because he was being passed by Cavan Grange, number 37, at the very time he was going to try and get into the pit lane. So Jim Benson will have to do at least one more lap, unless he's going to intend to stay out there anyway and try to just bring the car home for whatever points he can. As I say, the differential for each finishing position is not that great. So even if you can get 6th in class or something, that could be useful points at the end of the day in this 10-round championship, from which the best 8 count. Now here is the battle for 3rd and 4th position. It's Brad Sheehan and Mike Cutt. Oh no, in fact it's 2nd and 3rd now, because they've got ahead of Paul Cook already during the course of this lap. And now Mike Cutt for 2nd overall, having a look into Lodge Corner. They are side by side, and it looks like Mike Cutt, yes, he's going to do it. Brad Sheehan all over the curb there. That saps the momentum ever so slightly. And Mike Cutt, who made a pretty disastrous start to this race, goes back up into 2nd place. He is quite a long way behind. It's nearly 6 seconds behind Michael Pensaval, who's out in the front of the race. So it's Pensaval leading. Now Mike Cutt second, Brad Sheehan third, Paul Cook fourth, and you've got the three M1 class cars now filling the first three positions. So the sort of natural order of things has been restored a little bit. There is Cutt, and there is Sheehan behind him. Now Brad Sheehan, is he going to be able to fight back at all? We'll soon see. He had a top 6 finish, indeed one, I think it was 4th place finish last time out at Brands Hatch. Mike Cutt, I don't think featured at all in the end at Brands, because he had problems, I think, from memory in the first race there. So looking to get his season back on track here at Oulton Park this weekend. We've had 8.5 minutes of this race, so coming up towards half race distance here. It's a 20-minute race, of course. There's Cutt, there's Brad Sheehan in the JK Motorsport entered car. Paul Cook there in 4th. Paul Cook's about 9 seconds clear of Graham Crowhurst in 5th. There's Brad Sheehan, and he was, I think, just coming to the lap of the Gary Birthday car, which has been in and out of the pit lane again one more time. There's the 44 car of Cutt, and he's in 2nd place then now. He's the driver from York, Croft, his local circuit, but probably not so far to get here to Oulton Park because some of the journeys he has to make from the north of England. There's Paul Cook, front runner in the M3 Cup, and that still existed in the MR2s as well. He's here this weekend racing in the BMW Car Club Racing Championship, dropping down towards Cascades now for the 6th time in this race. Past the lake, extensive lake here in the grounds of Oulton Hall, as was, which formed the basis, the grounds for the Oulton Park circuit, of course, all those years ago. Fantastic parkland circuit. One of the most picturesque in the country, of course. There's Matt Smith just going through shot there, we could see briefly, in the Z3. I think it's the only Z Series car on the grid. Here, though, is our race leader, Michael Pensaval. Now, Mike, I reckon, is starting to eat into this gap. It was a 3.1 seconds at the start of that. Off has gone number 37. That's Cavan Granger in the BMW 330, so he has had a spin. That looks like it's coming out of Druids, doesn't it? Yeah, it's going into the Paul Warwick Bridge that he's about to go. So Cavan Granger back onto the circuit. He was in 16th position and is now seeking to recover some of that lost ground caused by that spin at Druids. It looks like, yeah, the exhaust is dragging, so possibly that became dislodged. Yeah, he's going to head into the pit lane to either retire, or no, he's changed his mind. He's changed his mind. He's not going to go into the pit lane to try and get that sorted out, but he probably will need to at some point because the exhaust is now bouncing across the tarmac as he goes down into Old Hall Corner, and he's got himself involved in a bit of a battle there all of a sudden in, what is he, 18th position. He's got Luke Proctor and Clive Watson behind him. Not really talked about the Cup class. That's being led by Carl McMillan. He's 16th overall at the moment, and Clive Watson 2nd within the Cup class. Mike Cutt, meanwhile, is continuing to eke into Michael Pensaval's advantage. It's down to 1.5 seconds, but there's Paul Cook in 4th position. He's still leading Class M2 as they make their way out of corner. Now here is Jim Benson, who is persevering with that very sick-sounding engine. Yeah, he's driving for points. He's in 22nd position at the moment, but nevertheless getting back ahead there with number 31, Paul Laramie. But I think, yeah, he's going to be slow out of the corners. And there's Paul Cook just threading his way through and trying to pass those slower cars. But Jim Benson, yeah, just driving around for points, I think, with an engine that, by the sounds of it, has dropped one of the 6 cylinders. Now, Mike Cutt here has just had to deal with quite a bit of traffic there. He's still there in 2nd position. The gap was down to 1.5 seconds at the start of the lap. Now, is that still going to be the case when they get towards the end of the lap? I think, if anything, it's probably gone out a little bit this time. So perhaps Michael Pensaval has got the wake-up call here and realised that Mike Cutt was charging onto his tail. Best lap of the race has gone to Mike Cutt, a 1:48 1:51.88, and that's well inside his own lap record, which was a 1:51.40. There's Cut then, in second place, number 44, had a bad start to the race. Dropped back from row 2 of the grid to about 6th position at one point. Come through to complete another lap now. The gap was 1.54 seconds. It's gone out by 4/10 to 1.91. They were both much slower that lap because of the amount of traffic that they both had to deal with. That's one of the features of the BMW Car Club Racing Championship. Because of the wide class structure, there is quite a bit of traffic to deal with, but that does add another element, another skill really, to the racing. And possibly the more experienced drivers like Mike Kurt can benefit from that, although it seems that possibly wasn't necessarily the case this time round. Another good scrap going on there. That is 64 Gareth Montgomery, also involved with number 19 Rob Lyons, and the 71 car there as well, which is Jordan Saywood, I should say. They are having a good scrap for 13th, 14th and 15th positions. Jordan Saywood is the one who's showing us 5:01 on your timing tower. An issue with his transponder, I think. There's the battle as they go through. One driver, by the way, has got a 5-second penalty. That'll be for exceeding track limits, and that was Adrian Williams. So, with less than half of the race, in fact about 6 minutes of the race to go, race on. Can Michael Pensaval catch or be caught by his namesake Michael Cutt? There's the 64 car once again. That's still Gareth Montgomery. He's just making a little bit of a break now from the two behind him, but Jordan Saywood thinking about having a look at the inside there of number 19 Rob Lyons, but Gareth Montgomery got past Lyons at the beginning of the lap. So up to the line they go, with now 15 minutes of the race having gone. Look at this, the leaders right together. The gaps come down to 0.6 of a second, so that time through, Mike Cutt was much faster, 1.3 seconds faster of Pensaval. So the two drivers that won races here at Oulton Park last season are right together, and it's number 44, Mike Cutt, that was just nibbling at the back of Michael Pensaval's car there at Cascades, down towards the left-hander at Island Bend. There's more traffic ahead. This is just where they didn't want to catch them, I think, coming up to Shallow's corner, but the back markers, touch wood, being reasonably well behaved. That's the number 19 car of Rob Lyons, actually in 14th position that they're passing. And then they've got 64 Gareth Montgomery to deal with in a moment. But look at this, it's almost nose to tail coming into the Britain chicane. The JK Motorsport run car, 146. Michael Pensaval, Mike Cutt, the driver from York, just behind him, pulling out of the way of the number 64 car of Montgomery then. So they've now lapped everyone up to and including 13th position there, side by side in the background for the minor places. But it's nose to tail here, and this would be a good comeback for Mike Cutt if he can make it work. Up towards the Oulton Park Bridge they go, up towards Druids. Now this is only an overtaking manoeuvre for the really bold, and Mike Cutt, I don't think he's quite bold enough to try and make that work just at the moment. Oh, and Pensaval's gone wide, he's sideways on the exit of the corner, and that is the pass to victory potentially that Mike Cutt needed. Pensaval there has made it a little bit too easy there for Mike Cutt to get through. A mistake there, possibly trying to defend when his normal line would possibly have been a better opportunity or a better option, and all of a sudden Pensaval has lost quite a lot of time. So we've got Cutt now leading by 1.6 seconds from Pensaval. Meanwhile, Brad Sheehan third, Paul Cook fourth, Graham Crowhurst fifth, Adrian Williams sixth, Dan Harborough seventh, still leading the six-cylinder class from Kevin Denwood. Then it's Stephen Schweikart and Stuart Pywell rounding out the top 10. But there's Pensaval now, and he is just making his way down the Lakeside Straight towards Island Bend. Fast, very daunting left-handers. One of the F1000 drivers discovered in the previous race. Up towards Shallow's corner. A sense here that Michael Pensaval's got no real answer to Mike Cutt. Cutt, as I say, has done the best lap of the race, 1:48.88. The best lap so far for Michael Pensaval, 1:49.62, so very nearly a second slower than Cutt. Although he has been leading much of the race, but that was really just down to getting a much better start. Hansval climbs up to Hilltop once again, and what are we on? We're up to coming up to 18 minutes, so possibly we'll just get one more lap to go at the end of this one. Lap times they're doing, as I said, shy of 1 minute 50 on the quickest laps. So if they get here before 18 minutes 10 seconds ago, which they're not going to do because we're now 18 minutes, so it's going to be one more lap to go at the end of the one that they're on in this Automac BMW Car Club Racing Championship. There's Cut then, making his way along the straight towards Lodge Corner for the penultimate time. Pensaval just fading away a little bit, and he's got to be careful here that he doesn't fall into the clutches of Brad Sheehan, and you could just see his white car in the background of shot briefly there, couldn't you? So as Cut now goes on to his final lap, we look at Paul Cook, similar sounding name, our Class M2 leader. Is there a bit of smoke coming from his car? Has he got a bit of a problem, I wonder? Yeah, there's a problem for Paul Cook. It's a puncture, isn't it? Right front by the looks of it. It's hanging off the wheel. So Paul Cook, Class M2 leader, is going to try and continue because there's only one more lap to go. Can he cling on here? He's getting past my commentary box window, but that tyre is as flat as the proverbial pancake, I'm afraid. And there's chunks of rubber flying off it as well, I think. Surely he's not going to be able to get this to the end. He has got, at the beginning of this lap, a gap of 12 seconds between Paul Cook and second place man Graham Crowhurst. So if he can drive on a flattening tyre, he's not going to, I don't think. He's slowing right up now, isn't he, Paul Cook? He's not going to stay ahead of Graham Crowhurst at the rate he's going on. This is for the Class M2 win. Down towards 1 minute. Oh, and off goes Cavan Granger, not for the first time in this race. This time he's found the Recticel barriers. The number 37 car that was at one point in 16th, but has dropped out of the top 18 and was indeed in 21st position when that happened. He has lost it at Deer Leap and will be hopefully back into the race, or possibly the pit lane. Yeah, pit lane is where he's finally bound for, with the exhaust still hanging off after the earlier off as well. Mike Cutts has just gone through our race leader. There's Michael Pensaval in second place, and Pensaval, the 146 car, heading down towards Lodge Corner. Not that far ahead of Brad Sheehan now, less than 3 seconds between them as they come through to end the race. It's going to have been an 11-lap race, but it's going to be Mike Cutt then that takes the checkered flag, and he wins round 3 of the BMW Car Club Racing Championship. A great comeback drive from him. Michael Pensaval, number 146, takes second place. In third place, number 28, Brad Sheehan. But what of Paul Cook? Has he been able to hold on this ever flattening tyre on the final lap from Graham Crowhurst as he closed in? We'll see in a moment. There's a little bit of a battle going on further down for positions 14, 15. Oh, and Paul Cook's race is finally over. He's stopped. The tyre's got so flat, I think it's just caused too much damage. So Paul Cook out of the race. So it is going to be Graham Crowhurst, I think, that is going to come through to take fourth position in the M2, and there's now smoke coming out of the engine as well, it would seem, out of the engine bay. So that's accelerated somewhat, hasn't it? There is Graham Crowhurst that has come past our commentary box window, though, to take fourth position and the M2 class win. But there is Mike Cutt, race winner, waving to the marshals on his slow down lap. It's a really good drive from Mike Cutt and repeating the victory he took here at Oulton Park last season. Marshals on the scene now of Paul Cook's car, which is pulled off on the side of the circuit. Paul Cook getting to the safe side of the barriers, but the marshal just trying to make sure that there's no conflagration there, and hopefully it is just smoke. But Paul Cook's car, a question mark for race 2, no doubt now, although I think it's about 5 hours to fix the car before the second race, as Paul observed on social media the other day. So he'll be glad of that time now, I suspect. Jim Benson, I think, still coming through to finish his race, and he is still going to get points here. We'll try and work out exactly how many. He's going to be 23rd overall. He's going to be just behind the I think that's Mark Haver's car was in the end, isn't it? So he does come through with that very sick sounding engine. It wasn't Mark Haver's car, it was the Gareth Thomas car that he was just behind. But Jim Benson does come over the line and he gets some points, albeit a lap down. So Mike Cutt it was that took the race win, and yeah, you can tell from the cheery wave that he's a happy man with that result from Michael Pensaval in second place. The gap between those two was around about 5.7 seconds in the end. Brad Sheehan was in third, and we'll see if we can bring you in a second the full results from that race, and we'll try and pick up as we go along the individual class results as well. So, just working to get those up on screen for you. And I can confirm, though, that it was a victory for Michael Cutt in the 20-minute 11-lap race for the BMW Car Club Racing Championship. Second place went to Michael Pensaval, third to Brad Sheehan, Graham Crowhurst fourth, and the winner of Class M2. A fantastic fifth place finish for the E30. We didn't really see much of it during the race, of Dan Harborough. Six-cylinder class win as well. Well done to him, ahead of sixth place number 7, Kevin Denwood. Seventh to number 43, Stephen Schweikart. Eighth to Stuart Pywell in 76th. And ninth, Paul Cutt. Well, he didn't actually make it to the end, so we'll question that. I don't think he'll be included in the classification on the official results. 10th showing there, though, Adrian Williams. His 5-second penalty won't affect him, I don't think. 11th to Sean Jackson and 12th to Bill Redrop. Then further down the order, Gareth Montgomery was 13th. 14th was the Jordan Saywood car. 15th, Rob Lyons. 16th, Tom Singleton. Carl McMillan, 17th, and he also won the Cup class as well. So he's our final class winner. Luke Proctor, 18th. Clive Watson, 19th. Matthew Smith, 20th in the Z3. Then some more Cup class cars for Paul Laramie and Gareth Thomas. The Ailing Jim Benson was 23rd and Mark Havers 24th. And there was, beyond that, I think we're into non-finishers.
Mike, not too bad. Fantastic job out there. Well, you fluffed the start.
Oh,
you fluffed the start, but you made up for it.
Yeah, I had to. Yeah, that was for my friend Russ Coburn, that big time. Yeah, I had to get my mojo on today and make some. That was a challenge. I enjoyed myself, and thank you very much to all the 750 Motor Club for putting this on again. I know it's been hard with the current climate that we're in. But you know what, that was a good win, that, and coming off back of Brands Hatch when I smashed it up into the barrier off Druids, I think I deserve that this weekend.
No, it looked fantastic. We were watching you out there getting so close to the barriers on the start-finish straight here, absolutely to the limit, all the way through. Fantastic.
There was no more, I don't think, in it today, but I didn't want to bin it. I was up the limit, but I didn't want to go over the limit, and I tried my hardest to keep it clean with the track limits and stuff, and I don't think I was flagged at all, so I think I did all right today. I think, yeah, it was a good win, very good win.
Excellent. You were so excited when you came in the pits. You actually missed the turn in to get in here, and you missed it. I was standing here, I was just like, where's he going? Where's he going? Where's he going? Awesome, fantastic job.
Thank you very much for us. Yeah, it's good again, and thanks to the live coverage. It's great. I really enjoy it because my daughter's watching over in Hong Kong. So yeah, it's been good for this. So thank you very much.
Excellent stuff. Well done.
Okay, thank you.